We're excited to be here. You know, it's been a week already since we were here on Monday. There's a lot of stuff that's built up, and of course, there is a lot of breaking news. Come on! The very first thing that I want to dive right into is I want to talk about Mortal Kombat 2 for a second, because Mortal Kombat 2 has started production again. Of course, it's been shut down since the SAG-AFTRA strike and the writer's strike. They were shooting in Australia. Everything's shut down since, they've been shut down since, I think it was May. So just a big halt. But Carl Urban tweeted out a picture today, or X'd out a picture, whatever you call it these days. And he said, hey, we're back on set. Mortal Kombat 2 has begun filming again, and he's playing Johnny Cage, of course. So if you didn't know that, he's coming in for the second movie, and the tournament is coming with Johnny Cage. So it'll be delayed a little bit, of course, because when this all happens, everything shuts down. You just can't release things right away. But something that's not going to be delayed right away is Superman Legacy, because James Gunn put it out there. It's going to be fine, everybody. Superman Legacy will still be released on July 11th, 2025, and I'm not surprised, because honestly, they're not supposed to even slated to shoot until January, February. The rest of the cast will probably be announced very shortly, and then the pre-production will begin, so they'll be fine. They were probably already slowly building toward this, because James Gunn said the strikes did not affect them at all. Again, it will not affect the whole DC slate moving forward, he said as well. So good for him, and good for fans of Superman, because it's still coming on July 11th. But something that is delayed, and of course is delayed, is Daredevil, because Daredevil has come out there. The new directors came forward and they talked about it, and they said, hey, everybody, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead said this is like day zero for them. So they really are scrapping everything and starting over. And he said all they're doing is research right now. They're getting into it. They're currently just consuming all the Daredevil content they can. They're actually watching and going through all the Netflix series, all 3 seasons, and they're also going back to the comic books and getting source material as well.
Seems like something they should have done before they started shooting it before.
Well, yeah, the older people should have done that instead of making a procedural lawyer show, because yes, that is his job, and they did that in the original Netflix show, but they should have covered it differently, I think, when you're getting too campy and away from what the hard kind of mature audience that Daredevil is supposed to be, or people are used to, I should say. Of course, they're going to be upset about this. I think we're fighting for the last, I think they were fighting in the last Mortal Kombat. Yeah, they had a little fight, but they didn't have a tournament, though. It was like them fighting in a cave, and they never got anywhere to the actual Mortal Kombat tournament. So, but yeah, Daredevil, everybody, it is moving forward. They have started shooting again, or they're getting to the production side of it, and they will start moving forward. Day zero, everybody. So get ready for it. It's a significant creative reboot, so it'll be a whole new thing. So that's changing a lot, but if you're wondering, Simpsons is not changing, everybody, because James L. Brooks came forward and said Homer Simpson is still going to strangle Bart.
Oh my God.
It's one of those things. There were rumors going around online being like, they're going to change this and get away with this, and then they go away from all of this. They had a little clip that came online that was from a new episode where the new neighbor moves in, and Homer tells Marge, he says, see, Marge? After he shakes the guy's hand, he says, see, Marge, strangling the boy has paid off. My grip is so strong. And then he said, oh, just kidding. I don't do that anymore. Times have changed. So people were going nuts online. Like, is Bart not going to be strangled by his dad anymore? And Brooks said, no, he'll continue to love his son that same way moving forward, even though he hasn't done it since 2019, 2020. So, and of course, times are changing. It's probably a little problematic to have Homer strangling Bart all the time, but it probably is, but that was the show people are used to. So you're going to get some strangulation coming forward, and you're going to get one more season of Young Sheldon, because it's ending after season 7. Now, they're about to start shooting, I know, because they actually got a call to work on this production. They're going to start right before Thanksgiving, and they're going to finish with season 7, and that's actually going to debut in February. So February 15th is coming out. They're like running against that schedule. That's pretty quick. And the finale will come out May 16th at 8 p.m. And so you'll have that's a quick window. And honestly, they're supposed to wrap shooting in March or April as it is. So they'll be running and gunning to make this production end in time for the actual air dates. But they're doing 14 episodes. And Young Sheldon is coming to an end, the Big Bang Theory spinoff, after it got picked up, I think it was in 2019, 2020, somewhere in there, for 3 seasons. This is the last season. So yeah, it's moving forward. And Queen says, how does Daredevil get around New York? He does know it's uptown or downtown, east side or west side. I think he just knows. It's the rain. He watches rain on people's faces. He knows exactly where he is. But
he's blind. What do you mean he watches?
Come on. It's a whole thing, Sprint. He can see through sound. It's a whole thing.
Okay, but it's not watching, just to be clear.
Yeah, it's true.
He has heightened other senses. senses.
He's very highly sensitive. But he's Daredevil. You can't mess with Daredevil.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, it's also you can't mess with spoilers because apparently a cop came forward and said, if you tell me the ending of Top Gun Maverick, and he pulled a gun on a fellow cop and said, I'll shoot you.
Oh.
This actually happened, and he actually came forward and pleaded guilty to this. But one cop and his colleague sitting down, and apparently two of his colleagues went and saw Top Gun Maverick. He really wanted to see it. They were joking how they're going to spoil the ending for him, and apparently he pulled his gun on him. And when he pointed at him, he said something along the lines of, see you next Tuesday. If you spoil the movie, I'll shoot you. So
I like this guy.
Well,
Did he arrest himself?
well, apparently the other cop had a lot of shell shock, and he doesn't trust cops anymore. And this guy Constantine Dominic Francis Garner actually, he came in and he actually said, yeah, he pleaded guilty, and they gave him suspension without pay, $100 community service, and a 2-year community correction order on top of that, whatever that means. But yeah, so he's getting charged for it. He like he said, I'm guilty, and he said he feels bad about it, but pretty crazy for spoilers. Like, to be spoiled, don't spoil my Top Gun Maverick or I'll shoot you. That's a lot for me, but crazy breaking news, everybody. But that was going on. Zaslav came forward and he said, everybody, the writers got what they deserved, which kind of shot me because Zaslav and Bob Iger were going back and forth about how they're asking for, Bob Iger said especially, it's like they're asking for too much, and Zaslav actually said, no, they're asking for what they need and what they deserve. He said they are about almost everything right about everything. So, okay, Zaslav. So he says, what if we overpay them? I'll never regret overpaying for great talent or great assistance.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he didn't want to pay them any more money. That's how it goes. It's a business. It's show business. He didn't want to pay them, but he came forward and said, yes, I'm happy we're paying them. He's just happy people are back to work. It goes a long way. But because of this strike, their production set tried to get away with some shady things. And I will say this about Wicked. They actually kept shooting for a while with doubles wearing wigs that were not union in order to shoot. And they only had one actor that was equity on the production. They kept that actor and started shooting all their scenes with non-union actors wearing wigs running the rest of it, which is kind of crazy during a strike. I mean, yes, it's creative, but you shouldn't be doing that. But there was this whole, I guess, secret thing you could do that if you had equity, you could keep shooting like House of the Dragon kept shooting because they had equity actors. They didn't have SAG-AFTRA actors. It was equity contract. Even if they were in SAG, it didn't matter because that equity contract trumped it. So overall, they were able to keep shooting, and this kept shooting too. Of course, this comes out the first part, November 27th, 2024, and the second part will come out November 26th, 2025. And they had like 10 days before they were supposed to shut down, and they made this work. This guy said that he was on set for about 4 days doing shooting with other people that weren't actually the cast to make it happen. So, and they want this to be good. It's a very magical experience. It's a twist, and they want Wicked to be great, just like they want Snow White to be great. But it's got to make a lot of money to get there, everybody. It's got to make $340 million reported by Forbes to break even, which is insane for this Snow White reboot. And the idea is because of COVID protocols, because of how long it took. There was like a 2-year gap where they couldn't even shoot because they started before COVID and they finished after COVID. So they had a lot of delays and shutdowns. It costs the producers a lot of money when this happens. So yeah, they're saying right now it's like $340 million to make their money back. And there's a lot of people hating on this, but it is what it is. People hate on projects all the time, just like people are hating on the Marvels constantly, and the Marvels didn't do well. And it sucks to say it because I know some people were excited about it. Some people weren't because it only made $46 million opening weekend in the United States, or $47 million, and overseas made $63 million. So overall it made $110 million opening weekend. Now you put that up against Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel actually made, okay, ready for this, everybody? $455 million opening weekend. So quite a big difference. It all went on to make $1 billion, so they expected the same thing with this spinoff, but it didn't get there. It just didn't get there. And I saw it, and it was all right. I don't think it was the worst MCU movie, even though that did make less money than The Incredible Hulk, which was the worst one until today, or until this last weekend. So unfortunately, it didn't do well. Yeah, people are saying it doesn't look great. There was a whole controversy about the Seven Dwarfs and the changing of that, and I mean, people aren't really excited about it, it seems. So Disney pushed the production of Snow White so they might have an opportunity to have PR and have people go to press for it and make money because they didn't want to release it at a time where they're not going to have actors actually to go talk about it. So that's what happens. But and this Captain Marvel was $1 billion franchise, just like Mario was $1 billion franchise, and now Mario is coming to Netflix. So if you haven't seen Mario on Peacock, On December 5th, it's going to leave Peacock, and on the same day, it's going to arrive on Netflix. And you can check out Mario. It's a Mario! And you can finally see Mario on your small screen, big screen, whatever you got in your house. You can finally watch Mario on Netflix. And it'll be there for, I think it was 6 months, and it's going to go back to Peacock. So a lot of breaking news, everybody. A lot of breaking news.